Well, everybody, and welcome to Eyewitness News. Had a show called ARC.
Yeah, you're typically used to seeing us here in this studio from 7 to 9 on Eyewitness News on Fox 58. But starting today, you're going to see us for one whole extra hour, but not for Eyewitness News, but for ARC.
Yeah, in fact, let's take you guys over to the news place. So what is this show all about? Well, first of all, we're going to go a little bit more relaxed. We're going to take those stories that we've talked about that typically we'll read the story of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll just kind of move on. But now we're actually going to go a little bit more in depth. Talk with big newsmakers of the day, talk with other reporters, and get more in depth with the stories that probably you want to hear about. There's a lot of big guests that come with it as well.
Absolutely. And we're also talking with our reporters and evening anchors as well. And that's all going to be taking place from here in our ARC set in Studio B.
Yeah, and this is that brand new set, which you're taking a look right now. We're going to be also talking with some, we mentioned newsmakers. We have an interview today with our own mayor, Mayor Goh, to go in a little bit more of depth how she's helping out our community.
And we'll also be talking with our evening news anchor, Michael Patterson, who's going to do a deep dive about a riot that happened in a Kern County jail.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening here for us on Eyewitness News on Bakersfield ARC. That's this new show that we're talking about.
So let's get that conversation started.
Well, as we start here, there's a mother who is accused of leaving her children in a hot car. Leaving one of them dead is due in court today.
Yeah, her name is Maya Hernandez. This actually happened back in June, which is, as you know, here in Kern County, one of the hottest months in this area. Now, what was said to have happened is she was actually going to a medical spa to go get lip filler, and she ended up leaving her two sons. One was one. Police said she did leave the AC on, but unfortunately with the type of car she had, it did shut off after an hour.
Yeah, the car dealership, they said that, you know, once the car is on for an hour and it's just sitting there, just stalled, and the air conditioner is running, it will turn off on its own. And that's where you have this problem where the heat becomes an issue. Of course, sadly, where her one-year-old baby died. I was looking this up. I thought this was kind of interesting. Cornelia, that you know, the temperatures inside of a vehicle significantly hotter than the outside temperatures. The difference here can be drastic. Like we're talking about temperatures that can go from in 30 minutes up 5 degrees. Another 30 minutes on top of that, it goes up another 10 to 15 more degrees. So if it's, you know, 100 degrees outside, it then dramatically can become 115 in that vehicle in under an hour.
And like you mentioned, being 100 degrees outside, it was set to be 99 to 101 degrees at that time. So just thinking about what you're saying, how hot it could have been in that car. And those boys were in the car for an hour, left over for 2 hours, actually. And that's what led to the death of her one-year-old. Now, we did know that a nurse at the Metaspa actually told police that Hernandez was allowed to bring her children into the Metaspa while she was getting work done. They said that procedure was only going to take about 10 to 15 minutes, but they said that they had no idea that she never mentioned having any children with her. They had no idea that the babies were in the car at the time.
That's so sad. Yeah, and so Katie Martinez, the grandma of Mio, had said some things. This is what she had to say. She was a really good mom. She really was. I never saw her raise her voice or get impatient with them or anything, but loved them. And that's the response coming from the mom.
Now, there are charges that Maya is facing. Those are first-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and cruelty to a child. Her court date is set for October 6th, but it's a very unfortunate situation. We've seen which is unfortunate, several cases of cruelty to a child in, you know, just the past few days, and we've seen a lot of outrage and comments from our community as well.
Yeah, and this is could be running all the way through October 6th, that court date. Now, there are great safety tips to do. I encourage you, don't leave your children in the car. Immediately take them with you. But create a routine. Create a check back seat reminder. Keep keys out of reach. call 911 if you see a child alone. This means we're going to hold you accountable, Kern County. Anybody, if you're watching and you see a child in the vehicle, or a pet for that matter as well, it goes the same way, because those are both illegal.
Yeah.
To make sure that you call 911 if you need to. Keep an eye out for everybody.
Absolutely. And another thing that we're talking about, one of the hot topics in our area, we're talking about the garnet fire that's been burning. I don't know, Aaron, I smelt it when I was getting into work this morning. I got in the car and I'm like, it smells like something's burning.
It's still out there. And here's the thing, you are still smelling, not the garnet fire.
Okay.
This is the Salt 14-2 fire. Maybe I get the right name for that one.
Okay.
Salt 14-2 fire. That one's near Coalinga.
Okay.
So it's closest to us. But yeah, the smoke has filtered all the way into Kern County. Let me just show you this for a second. This is our air quality, and you can see the CAL FIRE map right now. All the fire, so the fire at the bottom of that screen, that is the Salt 14-2 fire. The closest one, then above it to the upper right, that's the garnet fire. It's more of a complex fire now, building because of all these lightning strikes that were in the area. Let's go ahead and take you into the weather forecast, and you can see the area in the dark red, that hazardous area, that's Delano. So that's what you were smelling.
Yeah.
And that was all because of that wildfire smoke coming in out of Coalinga. You can see a little bit of it in the blue kind of moving. Now I'm going to take you to the north. This is the garnet fire. That you can see. So this is where I was just hiking in the Sierras.
Oh, wow.
This wasn't there when I was hiking. Came next week and
Just barely missed it.
Praise God.
Yeah.
That fire, that smoke is not in areas of Mammoth or Bishop. That's just the smoke layer. So where it's really at is closest to Fresno and the Sequoias. This is hidden areas that are somewhat historic trees. There's 46,000 acres burned in Fresno, 14% containment under that air quality alert, though. Either way, San Joaquin Valley is under a smoke alert. Areas north of our county, this is all for the Fresno County area.
So we have several fires actually burning in our area, which is kind of adding to that air quality alert. That's, again, you were talking about those fires. One of them, also the Little Fire by the Sequoia National Forest, apparently is 97% contained at this time, which is good. But we still have the Palladino Fire that's burned 461 acres so far. That's by the Palladino Drive and Fairfax Road, and that one is 0% contained at this time.
You know, the interesting thing about this, fire season hasn't even really taken off.
Wow.
We're in it now.
Okay.
And it will run through October. Mid-October is what we'll probably get for that. So just be careful. You know, stay inside if the air quality is bad. Make sure you use air purifiers. Keep your closed windows. You know, in your house, you have a house, right? You're living in a house?
Yeah.
All right. So you have air filters in your house. Change those out if you can, especially in the summer times if there's smoke around there, about every month.
And you're also, is that the HVAC filter that we're supposed to be changing out?
That's different.
Okay. See, there's a lot of filters you should change out.
Change them all.
Another big topic that I know a lot of people are either really excited about or probably not excited about because they didn't win is the Powerball lottery that happened over the weekend. Two lucky people won the jackpot of about $1.8 billion. It's the second largest lottery prize in U.S. history. Aaron, did you play in this lottery?
Nope, so I can't complain about it. Yeah. Neither can I. Know you didn't play either.
I didn't. I thought about it and I told my husband we need to get some lottery tickets, and he was like, "No."
Yeah. I was watching online and people were just, they thought this is the lucky store, this is the one. But yeah, that $1.8 billion, second largest in U.S. history. The largest was $2 billion in 2022, where it was sold here in California, by the way.
Yeah.
Which close. Now this one was in Missouri and Texas, the two that were sold. So they have to divide that in half.
Yep.
So that's the sad part, right? You're like thinking, nah, I won almost $2 billion.
And then you find out another guy in another state somewhere else also gets to take home that money with you.
No longer a $1 billion winner.
Now, they do have options for this money. They can either do a notized cash payout of $900 million, which is like basically annually for the next 30 years, they'll get that $900 million split up, or they can do just one big lump sum, but their money is going to be cut short, so it'd be $400 million instead of the $900 million. What would you do if you had a choice there, Aaron? Would you take the $900 million over 30 years or a lump sum of $40 million?
$900 million over the time period.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I want all the money, you know? I want everything
totally.
that I won, I want it.
Even though I'm going to get that like so much per month, That's way more than I was making now.
Exactly.
So I think I'd be fine.
And if you keep, if you save some of it, it'll
Yeah.
pile up over the years.
Learn how to invest it.
Yeah.
Don't forget, there were people matched tickets here. There was a matched ticket, and that person's going to win $1 million. That was at the Love's gas station over in Tehachapi over this weekend. And then someone won the previous one.
Yes, yeah.
They all got 5 out of 6 of those numbers.
And that was at the Albertsons off of Rosedale Highway. Now, as we were talking about the Powerball last week, we did speak with you guys in the community about what you would do if you actually won that big lump sum. Take a listen.
What would I buy? Probably a house for my mom. And then a big boat.
I would just immediately pay off all my bills and then donate to people that need it because I don't need that much money.
I would first fund every single child and family member's college, number one. Number two, I have about 5 different charities that I would give a ton of money to. Number 3, I would make sure that my homegrown roots of Visalia, California have a great base to continue thriving in the Central Valley.
There's so many thoughts about that, by the
Yeah.
way. Like, one, she wants to, pay for kids' school to go to college. Great idea. But I think those kids are going to think, no, we're millionaires now. I don't need to go to school
I don't need to go to
I've
school.
already earned it.
That's a good mom there. All those
Yeah.
people are very responsible. Bills, take care of their family, take care of their kids, then buy a boat.
And one kid was young, though. I mean,
Yeah.
what bills do you have, sir?
Hey, if you have a credit card, it can pile up a
It's
lot
true.
when you're young.
It's true.
Well, coming up next on Ark Bakersfield, a riot broke out at the Lerdo pretrial facility in Bakersfield. What exactly happened inside the facility? Well, Michael Patterson shares a deep dive into that story. We'll tell you.
And the NFL season has officially kicked off, and so has the local football teams. Emily Lawson is going to break down the latest game play-by-play for us. Can't wait. Well, in June, a riot broke out at the Lerdo pretrial facility in Bakersfield. Since then, Eyewitness News investigator Michael Patterson has been trying to learn more about what exactly happened inside that jail that day.
Yeah, and some concerning developments have been brought to light. Michael, now.
Good morning, Cornelia and Aaron. And so I want to set the stage for you a little bit with this incident here. We received a press release from the Kern County Sheriff's Office on June 24th about an incident that happened 10 days previous in June 14th inside the Lerdo pretrial facility. Now, that is a jail that houses inmates before they're able to go to trial here in Kern County. So what we learned from the Sheriff's Office was that 2 inmates, Northern Hispanic gang members, were able to breach a door from their unit into another unit and began attacking other inmates inside that unit that they did not belong to. Now, a couple people did get injured in that. The jail was able to go check them out. Nobody was seriously hurt. No deputies working at the facility were hurt, but it was listed as kind of a gang rival situation. But we heard from 2 people who had loved ones inside the jail that were involved in that incident that brought up some concerns about that gang designation, some other things. So we wanted to kind of dig in and find out more.
So, Michael, one of the questions I want to ask is, how were you able to learn more about this riot?
So like I mentioned, we heard some tips from some people at home, had some loved ones that were involved in that. But of course, through that investigative process, we wanted to ask the Kern County Sheriff's Office if they could provide some more information about this incident. We reached out to them both in July and even just a couple of weeks ago to find out more. They tell us they're still investigating the incident. We also submitted a public records request, a more formal way to request documents related to that incident. That was denied on the basis of being a danger to officer and inmate safety and privacy. So we actually went and got court documents for one of the men involved, Gregory Ortiz. We're going to hear from him in just a minute, which details a much more expanded situation of what happened. The documents suggest that 2 Northern Hispanic gang members were able to access that door because it was accidentally opened by a deputy during a security walkthrough. They normally go through to check all the inmates. That door was opened accidentally. Now, these 2 inmates were able to go inside with hidden weapons and start attacking people in protective custody. Now, that's important to keep in mind. We learned through those documents, investigators say there's a dynamic within the jail that people who are in general population in some of these gangs have sometimes standing orders to attack people that are in protective custody. Now, when those 2 inmates went into that protective custody unit and started attacking other inmates, inmates in protective custody began attacking them. One of those inmates I mentioned, Gregory Ortiz, was seen on camera stabbing and beating those 2 inmates. And that's kind of one of the problems here. That person is now facing charges. You know, we talked to him a little bit ago, or I interviewed him as part of this incident about why he feels those charges are unfair.
I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for the doors to be open. I didn't ask for my fellow inmates to be attacked. At the end of the day, I never went into out of bounds to another pod with a knife tied to my hand at all, period, point blank. So my intentions were never to go that day and harm somebody. Now my intentions were this. My intentions were to help my fellow inmate out.
Now, Ortiz, you know, he does tell me, he admits that he was involved in the incident and he did use a weapon to stab some of those inmates. But essentially what he's trying to argue is that he should have never been put in that situation in the first place because he feels like somebody could have died in that incident because that door was accidentally opened.
So don't you think if you were able to get the actual documents that you are previously requested, then you could probably get the right answers related to this question? Because, yeah, I mean, no offense to that gentleman there, but yeah, he's a criminal. He's in prison.
Definitely.
So can we trust everything he says?
Well, of course. I mean, and that's what I've been able to gather is that from what he's been able to telling me and comparing that with things that he even told to investigators within the court documents, it does kind of corroborate some of that information there from what he's saying. But of course, you do have to take everything with a grain of salt just from the position that he finds himself in and what we're trying to learn here. But what really I think is the more interesting part about this story is kind of the questions that it has risen as a result of that incident, how that door was able to be opened. We've learned, again, the sheriff's office reports one of the deputies that was explaining their role in that incident explains that the door was opened by accident. You know, we're trying to figure out if that was indeed the case. That's what the sheriff's office says. Of course, they're still investigating. You know, but it's not a possibility that that door could have maybe been opened through negligence. That's something we're still trying to figure out. The sheriff's office hasn't told us anything about that. Of course, they're still investigating. But as well as there were other things involved in that incident that we're trying to find out more. They tried to use pepper ball launchers to try and limit the inmates from fighting. Both of those pepper ball launchers failed. They tried to use tasers. Those weren't able to connect. So there's a lot of questions we still have here that we were hoping to get answers from the sheriff's office, and they are not able at this time to give us those answers.
And Michael, we know that you're investigating this story. When will we see your full report on this?
So we're going to have the first part of this story airing later tonight at 5 o'clock on CBS or on Eyewitness News. We'll have the first part of that talking to Gregory Ortiz, kind of talking about the incident in general and the more information we've learned, and talking about those concerns. But again, I'm still trying to work on getting some of those answers and finding out what exactly happened from the sheriff's office side that allowed this incident to happen in the first place. That is ongoing, and we will hope to have that for you in the next couple of weeks.
Well, Michael Patterson, our evening anchor on Eyewitness News, thanks for coming in early for the inaugural Ark Bakersfield.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. I love waking up early to come join you guys.
You better not say that. There are people
We'll have
here
you
that
every
run
week.
schedules.
Love.
All right, stick around. There's a lot more coming up on Ark Bakersfield. September's National Library Card Month. Who's got a card for the library? If you don't, Card Iridia is here to talk about how you can be a part of it.
And make your voice heard with our question of the day. Have you won anything from the lottery before? You can weigh in by scanning that QR code you see right there on your screen or head over to our website, BakersfieldNow.com/question. Well, welcome back to Ark Bakersfield. Kern County Library will be having a national card sign-up this month. Far Doridia from the Kern County Library joins us live to talk more about it. Good morning, Far. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to have you in studio because I think this is only the second time you've been in studio. Usually it's over Zoom, so glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
So tell us about the national card sign-up. What is that all about?
So it's National Library Card Sign-Up Month. It's where we do a big push to get everybody to sign up for a library card if they haven't done so already.
Okay, and so what can people do with library cards besides check out books? Everybody knows you have a library card, you could check out a book.
Right, so you can check out books, you can go online, do online databases. We've got, you could download our reading apps, get free ebooks, audiobooks, music, movies, TV episodes, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so you can do a lot with a library card besides just checking out books.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So why else is it so important that you think people have a library card just in their possession?
You know, the library card opens up thousands of possibilities. And to celebrate National Library Card this year, the Kern County Library has 13 new designs that you can choose from, including its existing designs too.
Okay, that's really fun. So you can kind of personalize it in a way to make it really yours, because I feel like growing up, when I got a library card, it just said the name of the library on it, and like that was it. But now you can make it unique.
Yeah, each card kind of tells its own story, so you can pick out one that's personalized to you and have your own story in your library card when you open your wallet.
I love that. Now, what happens if you're like me, who you may, misplace things often, and you lose your library card?
Oh, it's super easy. If you misplace your library card, you can head to any library to get a new card. It's just a $2 replacement fee.
Okay.
But we have the Valley Cat app, which you can actually input your library card number, so you'll have a digital library card with you all the time.
That's super helpful. A lot of people like to use the Apple Pay and things like that, so that's nice to have that in your wallet there. And where can people go if they're listening to us, they want to sign up? Where and when can people sign up for the card?
So you can sign up for the card at any of our 22 library locations, plus the bookmobile.
Okay.
All the new designs are out, so go in and check and see what design that you want. And if you have an existing card and you're in love with the designs, you can always switch over to the new one.
And are those some of the designs right there?
Yes.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah. So we have like Gothic library, a fantasy library, all kinds of stuff.
So for whatever genre of book you like to read, you guys have it for them.
Yes.
And will they get the library card same day? Is that how it works when
Yes.
you sign up? Oh,
You can get it same day on the spot. You
Okay.
choose your card, we'll give it to you.
that's quick. And Var, where can people go if they want to learn more about the library?
So if you learn more about the library, make sure you go to kernlibrary.org, follow us on social media, or head on over and pick out your next favorite card.
Awesome. Well, Var, thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about National Sign Up Card Day.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
I'm Emily Lawson, and it's time for your local football update. It's week 3 for Kern County football. This week, we covered 18 games across Kern County and beyond, from high school to youth to Bakersfield College ball. We were there, so you don't miss a minute of action. This will be just a short recap of some of the amazing things we saw this week. For a more in-depth breakdown of the action, be sure to tune into Hometown Sports on Sunday nights right here on Fox 58, or check us out on YouTube. All right, let's get into it. Centennial with a tough Week 3 assignment against a strong Independence team. And it may be the 3rd straight home game for the Golden Hawks, but the Falcons came to play. First drive of the game, Gunter Gola drops back, launches it deep to Bryson Gutierrez. He's dragged down just shy of the goal line. Gola decides he'll keep it up for himself, barrels into the end zone. Touchdown, Independence. Falcons strike first, 7-0 early. Centennial looking to respond. Grant Scott scrambles, looking for an open man. He's under pressure, eyes downfield, and he connects with Daniel Villa, who's pushed out at around the 35. The Golden Hawks settle for 3, and this one is good. 7-3 Independence after the first. Takes us into the second quarter. Independence driving again. This one's a high snap. Ball's loose, recovered by Centennial. They cash in with a field goal, and it's a 1-point game. 7-6 Falcons still lead, but here comes the Falcons. Gola fires deep, finds Dylan Baranda, and he is taken down inside the 10. 3rd and goal. Gola to Raylan Denweed, and he bulldozes defenders, refuses to be denied. Touchdown Independence. Falcons extend the lead 14-6, but not for long. Centennial answers right back. Grant Scott hands it off to Mikel Itarira. Breaks tackles, breaks free, and he is in. Touchdown Golden Hawks, 14-13. Just a 1-point game, and believe it or not, that was all in the first half alone. Falcons add a field goal before the break, 17-13 at halftime. 3rd quarter now. Independence sets the tone. Bryson Gutierrez reads the play, steps in front, interception. He's got blockers, and he's got space, and he is gone. Pick 6 for Gutierrez. From there, it's all Falcons. Independence shuts the door, dominates the second half. The final 36-13. The Falcons are now 3-0, and it's Coach Paul Gola's first 3-0 start in 13 years. Independence with a perfect 3-0 record. Like I said, Gunter Gola, 17 of 19 with 2 touchdowns. Ricky Johnson, 13 tackles. Bryson Gutierrez, a 51-yard pick 6 this week. Indy at Stockdale. Centennial hosts Chavez. And time for our Players of the Week. Many athletes shine each week. Here are the extra special moments of the week. First up, Offensive Player of the Week, Garces quarterback Mark Gomez. The sophomore signal caller was near perfect, 17 of 20 for 327 yards and 4 touchdowns. One of those, a 94-yard connection, as you see right here. Mark Gomez of Garces is our Offensive Player of the Week. Now to our Defensive Player of the Week, Michael Smith of BCHS. There were some great performances around town, but only one Michael Smith, who had 2 interceptions, both returned for touchdowns. Michael Smith of BCHS is our Defensive Player of the Week. And now to this week's Athlete of the Week. This player did it all, but I could tell you, but I'm going to show you instead. This week's Athlete of the Week, McFarland quarterback Malachi Davis. Can he throw? Yes, he can. But can he run? Just watch. Davis with a pair of long touchdown runs, rushing for 155 yards. He was also 22 of 25 through the air and went Abe Lincoln on us with 4 scores. And he had an interception on defense as well. Malachi Davis of McFarland is our Athlete of the Week. And this week's Hits of the Week. Wow, that's a mouthful. Let's take you to Morro Bay at Wasco. Pirates quarterback out of the pocket, Joel Nunez, delivers on the sideline. Joel Nunez of Wasco is our Hitman of the Week. Now for our Scholar Athlete of the Week. This player not only balls out on the field, but in the classroom. This week's Scholar of the Week comes from Independence High School. Ricky Johnson, his GPA, 3.95. He wants to major in nursing. He's headed to UC Davis, though there are some other schools chasing him down. His favorite food is pasta. His favorite TV show, All American. His favorite artist, Rod Wave. One thing most people don't know about Ricky Johnson, he played violin in the 8th grade. Ricky Johnson of Independence is our on sports. It airs every Sunday evening at 6 on Fox 58. 1 complete hour dedicated to local football, from youth to high school to BC, and our usual collection of awards, as you saw right there. If you liked it, go give Hometown Sports a try on Sunday nights at 6 on Fox 58. Well, that'll do it for your local football update. I'm Emily Lawson. Now back to the desk.
All right, thanks, Emily. Coming up on ARC Bakersfield, Bakersfield Mayor Karen Goh is here with us to talk about the future of Bakersfield. And Stuart Heisler from Anacapa is here to talk about Kern County's energy production. And while you're at it, check this out, this Snapchat of Kern County. Beautiful picture sent in from Jim McJeanette of Rio Bravo. You can do so as well by using your camera on your smartphone. Scan that QR code or tap the link and head over to our app, Bakersfield Now. Hit the chime in button.
All right, for this inaugural show of ARC Bakersfield, we thought, what better guest to have is Bakersfield's probably best guest to have, our mayor, Mayor Goh, joining us to discuss some great topic here about efforts to get the city more resources when it comes to the Big City Mayors Group. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, all right. You actually were talking about this earlier. What does ARC stand for?
Authentic, relevant, and community.
I love that. And that's everything that you do. You're authentic. You talk about everything relevant and to our community. So thank you.
It's my pleasure, but that's all of us together. That's what creates authenticity, relevance, and community.
Yeah, and you and I, when you first became mayor, you and I were talking about how you wanted to do more for the community. And that you were telling me that as mayor, before we had never gotten grants and stuff for the city, and you found ways to help improve the city. And that's where this Big City Mayors Group kind of comes into play, right?
Well, it was not that we had never gotten grants, but the opportunity to get more. Big City Mayors is a bipartisan coalition of the 13 largest cities in California. It was started really in 1994 as the Big 10 cities. And then when Bakersfield, in the 2010 census, rose to become the 10th largest city.
So we kicked one out.
They didn't want to kick one out, so it became the Big 11.
Okay.
And then a few years later, we added 2 more cities, Stockton and Riverside, and that was 13. And so now we're known as the Big City Mayors.
So with the Big City Mayors, what do you guys do in that group? You get together, you look to see what each city needs, and you come up with an agreement, like how can we all flourish in the state?
Big City Mayors represents about 1/3 of our population in California. And so we look at what are the bipartisan issues that we can agree upon to elevate the people of our state. Now, I said bipartisan, and we have to actually come to unanimous agreement to put our stamp on anything, which is a wonderful thing. I love being a part of this group. But all 13 of us have to say we're going to support whatever the issue is. If we don't all come to agreement, it doesn't go on our letterhead or jointly as a big city mayor's initiative, but people in each city can choose, each mayor can choose to support issues on their own.
So like a side story, like a bail on crime, like getting out, like every city of the 13, you guys have to come together on agreement, like we want to raise the bail limit or something like that?
It's usually the legislation that we're supporting. So homelessness, actually, when I joined the big city mayors, homelessness was the big focus. That was an issue. It still is. It is California's paramount issue. But homelessness was and is the big issue. And so that's one issue that as big city mayors, we have advocated very diligently on and very aggressively on.
What's the part on the homelessness right now then? That you guys are all coming together. Yes, you're in agreement that homelessness is rampant, it's everywhere. How do we help curve that down?
So what we have done is advocate for state funding. Homelessness, starting actually with the sheltering of homelessness, but over the last few years, moving out to mental health, substance use, and housing, all three of which are crises that drive homelessness, that are the root issues of homelessness.
How do we get the mental health part in there? Like, do we get them into these housing places that give them mental health?
Well, it started off first with homelessness, getting people into shelter.
Yeah.
Right? We want to get people off the streets. But even after doing so, we tripled our bed space in Bakersfield already through HAP funding. And so we realized there's still a lot of people on the streets. But unless we deal with the root issues of mental health, substance use, and housing, we can't achieve the sustainability that we really need in homelessness. So how do we get them off the street? We have to get them mental health treatment. And so that has been one of the focuses in the last few years where big city mayors have advocated and supported legislation. We meet often in DC and work together with our state legislators who are carrying bills, and then we lend our support.
What's the biggest benefit we've had then from it?
Bakersfield has received funding for homelessness, for mental health, for substance use, for housing, and also for youth jobs. So out of all of our joint advocacy, really two big pots, homelessness with the subsets of mental health, substance use, and housing, and then youth jobs, where California volunteers, we have worked to get jobs here where we can actually have paid internships in the city of Bakersfield.
I remember that paid internships. There were never really paid internships here. Now, any place you actually have to have somebody get paid, so it's helping young adults get that job. Well, as homelessness is the biggest issue, of course, for our focus groups, why was it important then for you guys, all the city mayors, now that you've seen this homelessness start coming together, putting people in housing? Are we finding improvements across homelessness, across the whole state now?
We are finding improvements. In Bakersfield, in our last point in time count, the 2025 one that we did in January.
There was a small decrease in homelessness.
And there was a 10.5 decrease in unhoused homelessness, which would be the people you see on the streets. And so that means we're getting people off the streets and either into emergency shelter, temporary shelter, or into permanent supportive housing. When you think about California, that has 12% of our nation's population, but almost 50% of our unsheltered population, you can see that that's very disproportionate. And so we want to get them off the streets and into housing. As big city mayors, together with the funding that we've received and with our own city's investment of housing, we have taken probably we've touched more than 152,000 homeless persons.
Wow. I'm just curious, with all of the big city mayors, how has the respect for Bakersfield been with all those mayors?
You know, it's been so wonderful, Aaron, just to see us work together. And I remember when I would advocate for our city, and we meet every other week on Zoom. So we have a lot of communication. And when I spoke about California or Bakersfield feeding and powering the world, people really didn't have any idea to the extent that decisions that were made in the state impacted us locally.
Right.
And so that's what I've been able to elevate. And so now I get to be a part of that and being a voice for our city, which is so important. That really never happened before. So I was the first mayor actually to be a part of the big city mayors and give that voice.
And you're the first mayor ever to be a part of ARC Bakersfield. Which, by the way, thank you.
That is wonderful.
Like the
thank
set?
you. Authentic, relevant, community, Bakersfield. That's all of us. The sound of something better.
That's who we are. Mayor Goh, thank you very much. Stick around, you guys. Next on ARC Bakersfield, Stuart Heisler from Encampa is here to talk all about Kern County's energy production.
Welcome back to ARC Bakersfield. Kern County is the center for both oil and gas production and renewable energy production in California. Now, it's also number 13 in oil production here in the U.S. So this morning we have Stuart Heisler from Encampa joining us to talk about the current energy struggles here in Kern County. Stuart, good morning. How are you?
Morning. Very good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. So as we're talking about this right now, Kern County is facing some challenges with insufficient electrical transmission lines. How does this limit renewable energy in our area?
So, you know, for one thing, back in 2000, I think 6, maybe it was 8, we started a project to put in new transmission lines from Tehachapi out to the rest of the grid. That was completed by 2016. And a bunch of more wind development went on in that time. But now the lines are packed. There are still plenty of wind sites. There's still plenty of wind.
Yeah.
There's just no way to get the energy out of Tehachapi anymore.
That we need.
Yeah. In addition, you know, we've got power lines running up and down Highway 5, and there are plans. The California Energy Commission, the CPUC, they are planning to run more power lines up and down Highway 5, but they're not there. They are held up with CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. And, you know, probably without some CEQA reform, it'll be a long time till we get more power lines.
And so as we're talking about energy, if you can explain why energy storage is such a critical issue for Kern County's renewable energy projects.
Sure. So, you know, I have solar on my house, but I'm not there right now.
Yeah.
Right, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm at work all day. So where does that solar energy go? It goes on the grid because it has to be used immediately.
Oh, okay.
Right, there's very little storage right now. So it has to be used immediately. So, you know, maybe you're pulling it off here at the studio.
Okay.
When I go home and then it gets dark and then I want to watch TV and wash the clothes and turn on the air conditioning, I'm not using solar power. I'm using gas-fired or something else coming off the grid. So our usage and our demand and our supply are really not set well. With battery storage, you could put that electricity everybody's got on their roof into batteries, and then they could use it themselves when they come home at night.
And that would help to, it sounds like, also lower your energy bill, because then you're using the solar that you've been saving up throughout the day.
Sure. You lower your energy bill and you lower the demand on the transmission.
Yeah.
So the transmission system has to be designed for the peak power flow.
Okay.
And if we can reduce that peak, then we won't need as much transmission work.
All right. Now, Stuart, let's talk about grants and tax credits, the changes that we're seeing in the federal policy on them, and specifically impacted renewable energy development here.
Yeah, so I'm working on several projects at my engineering firm, and we sign NDAs, so I can't tell you who these clients are. But there are 3 projects that are now on hold and may be canceled because of the shifting policies from Washington on renewable energy. And you know, the investors can't put money into projects like this. You can't get the private equity investors, you can't get the banks to put up money when they don't know if DOE grants are going to disappear, they don't know if tax policy is going to change. These projects I'm working on are worth $1.5 billion. That's $1.5 billion not being spent in Kern County that we were all counting on.
Yeah, and so you're talking about that. That's led to these changes you just mentioned, leading to billions of dollars. If you can share some more examples on the scale of the impact of that that's happening here locally.
So you know, we've got the cement plant that's up near Lebec and Gorman, and they had a $500 million DOE grant to do carbon capture and send it over to the Carbon TerraVault operated by CRC. That money just disappeared.
Wow.
It was just recalled.
Yeah.
Already approved and then recalled. People spent millions of dollars developing these projects, and you know, all for nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So that's very significant about what that can do. Stuart, is there any solutions or strategies that you think that Kern County can do to prioritize?
Well, yeah, you know, let me bring up one more thing. You know, besides the renewable energy, you know, we're the capital, not just renewable, but oil and gas in California, right? And in the oil and gas business, before the current governor, we made half the oil we use in California, and we imported half, right? Now we make a little less than a quarter and import more than 3/4.
Wow.
So that's a tremendous shift.
Yeah.
Okay. In Kern County alone, we're down 100,000 barrels a day of oil.
Wow.
100,000 barrels. It costs the local producers approximately $20,000 to develop 1 barrel of oil. And most of the producers would have at least held steady. So if you say 100,000 barrels a day, $20,000 a barrel, that's $2 billion that our local producers would have invested in Kern County in the last 6 years. But they haven't because of policies in Sacramento. So we're getting beat by Washington and Sacramento, and it is just devastating the oil industry in Kern County.
Absolutely. Well, Stuart, thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about the gas, oil, and renewable energy here that is happening in Kern County. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, coming up on ARC Bakersfield, we're sharing our final thoughts for the inaugural day for our news program here on Fox 58. But before we head to break, make your voice heard with our question of the day. Have you won anything from the lottery before? You can weigh in by scanning the QR code on your screen or head over to our website, BakersfieldNow.com/question.
About ARC Bakersfield, or just a question in general, send us your questions. We're going to answer it. news@BakersfieldNow.com. Question might just end up right here on this brand new show. And today's the inaugural one.
Yeah, so before we go, of course, we have to have our inaugural cake.
God, you know what?
Did you know they were going to have this?
I was here for the start of the 12 o'clock newscast. We never got one, and we never got one at the end. So
This is the cake for the goodbye to the news.
Where do we
and
cut?
hello
Where do you want to cut?
I feel like we should cut in the corner.
In the corner,
Unless we want to be crazy and just cut out ARC.
Well, you know what? We're going to do that. We're going to cut right here. We're going to angle it.
Okay, you're like a pie.
Like a pie. We're going to do it like a pie for a cake.
Maybe I'll take
You'll be the
my
first.
slice.
You'll be the first inaugural. Oh, it's
Wow.
chocolate cake. Oh, it's chocolate, which she doesn't like chocolate.
I don't like chocolate.
Can
But
you
know what?
eat it?
For
Will
ARC,
you do it?
For ARC, I will do it. For ARC. Any thoughts about ARC before we say goodbye?
Really just want to get your guys' feedback. The best thing you could do is just reach out to us through that email that we put up there just moments ago.
Yeah. Should we cheers?
Oh yeah, I got a
To
little.
your tiny,
my little bite.
your tiny piece.
There we
Cheers.
go, cheers.
Cheers to ARC.
All right, ARC Bakersfield official. We hope to see you every morning from 9 to 10 right here on Fox 58.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your
That's
Monday.
actually really good.
That's okay.